You're welcome to another video section, and in this video we are going to be looking at how to convert from any given base to base 10. That is, you'll be given base 8, you'll be given base 9, you can be given base 15, you can be given base 12, you can be given base 4, you can be given base 2, and being asked to convert to base 10. So we are going to be looking at as many examples as possible to really help you in understanding how to convert from any given base to base 10. And here the first example I have here says, example 1, says that we should convert 5603 base 8. So you can see how to write the base 8 very tiny below as a subscript to base 10. To base 10. So we have to convert 5603 base 8 to base 10. So we are going to be looking at two different methods. So I'm very sure a lot of you are quite familiar with one method, but you are not really familiar with the other method. But you can use basically two methods for this. So in this video, we're going to be using the two methods, at least for the first 3 examples, so that you're quite familiar with both methods. Then subsequently, we're going to be using just one method to do our conversion. So how do we go about this? We have to convert 5603 base 8 to base 10. Solution. So the first method we're going to be using is called expansion method. So by expanding, that's the first method. So method 1. So 5603 base 8 to base 10. So all we just need to do is we have 5, we have 6, we have 0, and then we have 3. So which is in base 8. So which is going to be equal to, so we are going to be multiplying each of these digits, which is 5, 6, 0, and 3, by the base given to us. But we are going to be using powers. So if we are multiplying 5 by 8, this 5 by 8, then the power would be 3. That's 8 raised to the power of 3. If we are multiplying 6 by 8, then the power will be 2. That's 8 raised to the power of 2. If we are multiplying 0 by 8, then the power of 8 is going to be 1. Then if we are multiplying 3 by 8, the power of that 8 will be 0. So in other words, you start from 0, 1, 2, and 3. Sometimes you can be given more digits than this. So you can have as many as possible. So you start from 0, 1, 2, 3. Then if you have more, 4, 5, 6, and as many as possible as you are given. So how do we go about this? Using expansion. So I'll be having the first number here, which is 5, multiplied by the base given to you, which is times 8. So it means if you are given base 4 here, of course you can't have 5 and 6 under base 4. The numbers under base 4, the digit under base 4 should be 0 to 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3. So of course, if you are given base 9, so it means I'm going to multiply 5 times 9. So you multiply by the base given to you. That's how to convert to base 10. So we have 5 times 8. So the power is what? 3. And raised to the power of 3. Then you add plus. Then the second number is 6. That's 6 times 8. In this case, the power is raised to the power of 2. Then you also add plus 0 again times 8. The power here is what? Is 1. 1. raised to the power of 1. Then you add again, plus 3 times 8. In this case, the power is what? Raised to the power of 0. And this is all you just do. So when you have 8 raised to the power of 3 multiplied by 5, everything is going to give you 2560. 2560. So 8 raised to the power of 3 times 5 is 2560. Plus 8 raised to the power of 2, that is 8 times 8, which is 64. Then 64 times 6 is going to give us 384. 384. Of course, when you have 8 raised to the power of 1, which is still going to be 8, then 8 times 0 will still give you 0. Why? Because anything multiplied by 0 still remains 0. And lastly, we have 8 raised to the power of 0. Now, let me quickly tell you this. Any number raised to the power of 0 is going to give you 1. If you have 100 raised to the power of 0, the answer is 1. If you have A, in fact, even if it is a letter, A, and is raised to the power of 0, the answer is still 1. If you have 1000 raised to the power of 0, the answer is 1. Please take note of this, because as we progress, you're going to be seeing things that are similar to this. So any number raised to the power of 0 results into 1. So 8 raised to the power of 0, as we have here, is 1. Then 1 multiplied by 3 gives us 3. So adding all this together, 2560 plus 384 plus 0, then plus 3. Everything gives us 2947 in base 10. And that's our final answer. So converting 5603 from base 8 to base 10 results in 2947 in base 10. Of course, even if no base is written like this, as I've written base 10, if I didn't write any base there, it automatically translates to base 10. So in case you see or you come across problems that have just the number without putting any base there, so for them not to put any base automatically translate to mean base 10, because that is the standard base that we use on our daily basis. So if they didn't put any base, it automatically translates to base 10. So I'm just saying this so that you get used to situations like this as you progress. Now alternatively, that's method 2. So using the other method. So alternatively, method 2. And what is the name of this method? We call it repeated multiplication. So method 2. So method 2 is called repeated multiplication. Repeated multiplication. So as you progress, whichever method you feel like using is what you use. So repeated multiplication. How do you go about repeated multiplication? We want to convert 5603 base 8 to base 10. How do we go about it? Using repeated multiplication method. So all you just need to do is write the number. The first number is 5. The second number is 6. Of course. The third number is 0. Then the fourth number is 3. So after writing these numbers, then we use the first number, which is 5, to multiply the base that is given to us. In this case, is base 8. So if you are giving base 9, so you use the first number to also multiply 9, which is the base given to us. So whichever base given to you is what you use the numbers to multiply. So we have 5 multiplied by 8 this time around. So we use the first number, which is 5 times 8. So and 5 times 8 gives us 40. So we have 5, then times 8, which results into 40. So what do we do with this 40? So we add the second number, which is 6, to it. So we have 40 plus 6. So we have plus 6, which will result into 46. So we have 46 already. So after getting 46, then we also multiply 46 by the base, which is 8. So also times 8. So we have 46 times 8, which gives us 368. So 368. And that's what we have. So we are going to repeat the same procedure. 368, we are going to be adding 0 to it because that's the next digit that we have. So plus 0. So plus 0. So which is the next digit that we have. So 368 plus 0 still result into 368. So 368. So the next thing we are going to do is we also repeat the same procedure by multiplying 368 times 8 again. So times 8 gives us 2944. 2944. Then also we add 3, which is the next number to it. So plus 3. So 2944 plus 3 results into 2947. So the final answer is 2947 in base 10. You can see it's the same answer we got using the first method, the expansion method, 2947. And the second method, which is the repeated multiplication, also results into 2947. So these are just basically the methods that you can use. So whichever method that really comes, good for you, that you really feel you understand better, is what is, you are to use. At the end of the day, you get the answer. So I'm going to be looking into another example. We are going to be using these two methods also, so that you get used to, both methods, and whichever method that you want to use over time, you get to use. Now let's move into, solving another example, example 2. The example I have here says that we should convert 3b9, 3b and 9 in base 12 to base 10. So don't forget, our topic is to convert from any given base to base 10. So in this case, we have to convert from base 12 to base 10. So I convert from base 12 to base 10. How do we go about it? So using the same first method, which is the expansion method. So solution. Using the expansion method, so we have 3b then 9, which is in base 12. So the same procedure is we multiply each of these numbers, that is 3. That is 3 multiplied by 12. Then we have b multiplied by 12. Then 9 multiplied by 12. But this 12 will be carrying different powers. So, and how do we know which power each of these 12 will be carrying? So for 9, the 12 for 9 is going to be carrying a power of 0. The 12 for 9 is going to be carrying a power of 1. The 12 for b rather is going to be carrying a power of 9. Then the 12 that you're going to be multiplying with 3 here is going to be carrying a power of 2. And that's how you go about it. So we have 3 multiplied by 12 raised to the power of 2. Then plus b multiplied by 12 raised to the power of 1. then plus 9 multiplied by 12 raised to the power of 0. Now, but the bone of contention here is the letter B. From one of our previous classes, from one of our previous videos, I had already established how that after the number 9, then to represent the next number, which is 10, we start with letters, the alphabets. So 10 is represented as A. It means 11 will be represented using B. Then 12 will be represented using C, and it goes on and on like that. So in this case, we have B. Then B automatically means what? 11. So B means 11. So in this case, we'll be having the first number, which is 3, multiplied by 12, which is the base. So in order to convert to base 10, you multiply the numbers, each number given to you, by the base. Then you put power. Multiply each number given to you raised to the power of a particular number. So we have done that. 3 multiplied by the base, which is 12, but this 12 must carry power, and the power is 2, because the power under 3 is 2. Then plus, then you add, then you multiply B by 12. In this case, it's going to be 12 raised to the power of 1. But take note, B represents 11. So we have B multiplied by 12 raised to the power of 1. Then plus 9 multiplied by 12 raised to the power of 0. So in this case, all we just have is, we have equal to 3 times 12 raised to the power of 2 is 144. 144. Then plus, don't forget, B represents 11, A represents 10, C represents 12, and it goes on and on like that. That means D will represent 13, E will represent 14, F will represent 15. But in this case, B is representing 11. So we have 11 times 12 raised to the power of 1 remains 12. Then of course, plus 9 times, in our last example, we already established how that any number raised to the power of 0 is 1. So 12 raised to the power of 0 is 1. So 9 times 1. So in this case, we have 3 times 144, which gives us 432. So we have 432 plus 11 times 12 is 132. 132, then plus 9 times 1 remains 9. And when you add these 3 numbers together, the final answer is 573. 573 in base 10. So therefore, 3b 9 in base 12 is 573 in base 10, and that is the final answer. So don't forget, this is the first method, which is the expansion method. Now we are going to be looking at the second method, which is the repeated multiplication method, so that you get used to both methods like I told you. So using method 2, which is the repeated multiplication. So you are using the repeated multiplication method. So for the same numbers, which is 3b9 base 12. So we have 3b9 in base 12 to base 10. So we have to convert 3b9 base 12 to base 10. Of course, like I told you in the first example, we have 3, then we have b, then we have 9. 3b9. So the first thing is we multiply the first number, which is 3, by the base given to us. So that's 3 times 12. So let me have my 3 times 12. We have 3 multiplied by 12. So times 12, which will result in 36. Of course, we add the second number to it, which is B. And don't forget, B represents 11. So plus B. So 36 plus 11 gives 47. So the next thing is we also multiply 47 by 12. Again, that's repeatedly. So multiply by 12. So, and of course, when you do the multiplication, 47 multiplied by 12 give us 564. So we have 564. Then again, then you add the third number to it, which is 9. So plus 9, so which is this. So we have 564 plus 9 automatically gives us 573. You can see the final answer is 573 in base 10. And this is how you go about using different methods to solving how to convert from any given base to base 10. So in order for this video not to be too long, I'll be doing multiple examples under converting from any given base to base 10 in other videos. So we'll be doing as many videos as possible so that you get used to different questions, different ways of answering different questions. So please anticipate for other videos that will be coming. You are great.